On today's show,
we discuss the Warriors owning OKC and whether James Harden is back in the MVP driver's seat.
Adam Silver called resting players a significant issue for the league, but will teams continue to sit their stars?
And Draymond Green's tiny jean jacket inspires a new game called Fashion or Nah.
It's Tuesday, March 21st. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live right now on NBA TV, or a little bit later on YouTube, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm Jay Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Millis.
We call it The Starters, but there's only 4 of us.
To his right, the international man of mystery, taking it to the max, Lee Ellis.
Friend.
Lily.
Lily, and last, certainly not least, over there, it is the bearded one, it's Trey Kirby.
Hey,
yo! TK, what's up?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at #TheStarters. And guys, earlier today, ESPN dropped the greatest piece of investigative journalism this season, Baxter Holmes' report on the widespread popularity of the peanut butter and jelly sandwich throughout the NBA. It's chock full of hilarious anecdotes, like how Kevin Garnett has popularized the sandwich, how Dwight Howard used to eat 24 chocolate bars worth of sugar every day for nearly a decade, and how the Wizards had a minor uprising when the team tried to upgrade their PB&J ingredients. But my favorite part was the pictures of players' preferred sandwiches, like Dwight Howard, pretty standard, or Brandon Ingram, who goes with double peanut butter, probably trying to bulk up, or Russell Westbrook, who toasts his because why not? All of which brings us to today's question. What's your ideal peanut butter and jelly? And for me, I'm starting with a really grainy bread. Make sure you get some seeds in there. Throw on some raspberry preserves. Jam will do in a pinch, but do not give me jelly. As for peanut butter, I like it crunchy, and you gotta be able to stir it, because I'm a fancy boy. We want to hear from you, so let us know on Twitter. What's your ideal PB&J? Send us your best tweets to #TheStarters. We'll hear from you later.
Better yet, make a PB&J sandwich while you're watching the show. Send in a photo so we can judge that sandwich.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Just an idea. All right, we got a fun show tonight. We're going to play a little fill in the blank. And we have a new game inspired by Draymond Green's tiny jean jacket that he wore last night. And Matt Barnes had a part as well, but we'll get to that later. Let's start with a little simple true or false. Trey, you got some questions, you got some statements to throw at us, and we're going to debate whether they're true or they're false.
All right, first one. For the 4th time this season, the Warriors and Thunder faced off in a hotly contested matchup with the beef cooking on both sides. And for the 4th time this season, the Warriors won by 16 or more. It's been fun, but it hasn't really been close. True or false, Warriors-Thunder would be an exciting playoff matchup?
It's true, because the Golden State Warriors are going to win their first round series. They're going to win it easily. So why wouldn't I want the built-in drama of Russ versus Steph, of KD versus cupcakes in the crowd, of OKC versus Kevin Durant? Of course I want that, because Golden State's going to destroy 4 or 5 games, no matter who they play. So why wouldn't I want
Why
OKC?
not make it OKC?
I think it's false. The OKC haven't given me any reason to think they could even take one game off the Warriors this season. Last night was their best chance. No Kevin Durant. The Warriors haven't been playing great lately. You figure Russ's last chance in the regular season to show maybe we can run a little bit with these guys. But unfortunately, it's just not there. The Thunder just don't have the weapons to match the Warriors. And you imagine if Durant does come back into that first round playoffs, maybe he won't be 100%, but the Warriors are going to be fired up. And now they have some motivation as well to do it for Kevin Durant, because the Thunder crowd have been pretty unkind to him. And I just don't really think it being a close series. I think if it was to happen, the Warriors sweep them.
And not just the Thunder crowd. We talked about it on yesterday's show. Even the Westbrook, who's he comments.
Yeah.
Addressing, Curry asked about who should be MVP and gets back to Curry. That Westbrook said, well, he brushed him off. Who's that guy? Whatever. Who cares about his opinion? Curry made a point last night on the floor, I thought. He gave us his first dunk of the season. Chose to do that against
He's tried
OKC.
before, it just hasn't worked out.
And obviously hit 7 threes. Clay was on fire. They got into the scuffle. I mean, you don't see Curry do that very often, Tass. He was fired up, I think, from some of this, whether or not you wanted to call it a beef or not, but between him and Westbrook and between the two teams. And I wouldn't want to see this, though, in the first round, because I would like to see closer games, at least 1 or 2, or at least a chance of a team maybe taking a game. But they've been outscored by 79 points now
the Warriors,
in 4 games this season.
But as I said, the Warriors are going to take whoever they face, whether it's the Nuggets or the Grizzlies or the Thunder.
They're going to beat them by a combined 80 points? Or 4
77.
Games?
I don't know. They're going to win. They're going to win by 4. Or they're going to win in 4 or 5 games.
Right.
And I think yesterday, if Westbrook is on the floor or not, Steph Curry gets into that altercation, because Samaje Christian was literally all over him. So yeah, they were trying to do it for Kevin Durant. That's 100% true, and I think there's a great chemistry in that Golden State locker room. I think that's undoubtedly true, and I think Russell Westbrook is an MVP candidate. And the way the Golden State Warriors deal with him on defense is incredible. The way they switch and have Draymond Green, who can act like a guard and act like a big at the same time, and switch out. And even when they try and just go at Zaza Pachulia, which is got to be the game plan, get Zaza in the pick and roll, somehow Draymond Green can switch and find his way to the rim and just go vertically straight up and deal with Russell Westbrook. Again, they deal with him on the perimeter and then on the inside. And I don't think it's a coincidence that he shot 35% in the 11 games that he's played the Golden State Warriors since Steve Kerr came around, because Draymond Green has got the reins as the big there to play D, and Andrew Bogut.
Yeah, and also I think a lot of obviously solid perimeter defenders that can switch a whole lot too, but you're right, and then they got the guys in the paint there. They make it impossible for him. They also just dare Westbrook to shoot. They just say, go ahead and fire up as many threes. We're going to beat you on the other end. We're going to like our chances with the Splash Brothers. All right. Next one, Trey.
All right, fun game in Houston last night. After a Jameer Nelson air ball, James Harden grabbed the rebound and took off, beating all 5 Nuggets down the court for an incredible game-winning layup.
Where's Juancho? Get there, Juancho.
Come on, Juancho. People are saying this was Harden's MVP moment, so true or false, James Harden has taken the MVP lead.
I think it's true. I think it's true. Some people probably already had Harden in the lead, but this has been a little bit of a back and forth here between Westbrook and Harden most seasons, and Kawhi had obviously a great stretch. LeBron's always in the mix, but I think it's ultimately going to come down to Russ or James, and I think this thing is going to go the distance. I tweeted last night, between the two, it's like it's going 12 rounds, this one. But right now, Harden's probably up on points a little bit, and Westbrook's got to go for the knockout punch here in the last couple of games. I think James has a little, because what we're not showing you there as well, Harden played a little defense after going coast to coast there, breaking up the final possession by the Nuggets. They tried to throw an oop at the rim, and he did a good job to break it up. So, yeah, I think I have Westbrook at the start of the season. I still, if I had a ballot, I think I would maybe go Westbrook, but most people are going to have Harden ahead of him.
I say it's false just because I've counted Russ out before and he's always come back, and there's still plenty of time for him to rattle off another 10 or 15.
But right now, though, season ended. They have 9 more games.
Yeah.
What happened last night won't change anyone who believes Russell Westbrook is the MVP. Because the argument for Russell Westbrook is, he's averaging a triple-double. How can I vote for James Harden? So I don't think last night's performance and James Harden going coast to coast in the last 2.4 seconds changes people's opinions, but that's what happened.
I argue with you guys. I actually sort of think it does, because I think these two are so tight right now. At this point in the season, with an MVP race, we're usually decided. I mean, for a good chunk of these people that are actually voting on it, the media, they know who they're voting for.
So you said you would take Harden, but if you had a ballot, you'd take Westbrook. So which one?
Well, I think there's a bias that comes into this, and I'll be honest. Because I took Westbrook at the start of the season, that bias is coming in there. If it's between the two and they're dead even, I'm going to go Westbrook to try and make myself look smarter because I picked in the preseason. But what I'm saying is, I think a lot of these guys, and rightfully so, they haven't cast their ballot already in their mind, because there's still, 10, 12, 13 games left for these two to go head-to-head and see who can finish the season on the high note. I think that comes in play.
That's why I can't say, because I honestly don't know who I'm going to vote for in our Starties Awards, who I'm going to give it to in the MVP race, because they've all been so good. And Kawhi still, because when Kawhi had that moment against the Rockets a few weeks ago, we thought maybe Kawhi's in that lead. And since then, the Spurs have dropped off a little bit.
Yeah.
But then Harden does that last night, and it sort of coincides with the fact that Westbrook had a pretty bad game last night against the Warriors.
That's all I mean by, Harden, if you're inching to get these two cars on a make-believe track, you're maybe inching James Harden ahead right now, but obviously still a bit of time left to decide it.
Yeah, but the argument has been for Russ the entire year. Triple-double, he gets it. That hasn't been done in 60-plus years, and that's still going to happen.
Yeah,
so how do you change your
Oscar
argument?
Robertson averaged a triple-double, and he was fourth in MVP voting. So, that's happened before. Just because he gets it, I don't think he's a lock.
No, I don't think he's a lock either, but I'm just saying the people who think that, it's going to continue to go on. And they're going to win 47 or 48 games compared to what Harden and Kawhi are going to do.
For sure. All right, Trey, final one.
All right, it must be March, because we're talking rest again. After the Warriors and Cavs rested their stars on consecutive ESPN Saturday nights, Commissioner Adam Silver sent a memo to the league's owners urging them to be more involved in the decision to rest players. True or false, teams will continue to rest players no matter what the league does?
True. I think it's true in the short term. With all the technology we have available, I think the sports scientists will look at their players and they'll say, we just don't need our guys to play 82 games to get them to perform to their maximum, especially if we plan on going deep into the playoffs. I think Adam Silver's taken the right approach by saying we're going to tackle this head on, and we're going to try our very best to curtail it as much as possible, but I don't think it's going to stop teams, particularly guys like LeBron, who's been in the final 6 times in a row.
Yeah, I agree. If it's 82 games over 6 months, which is likely what it's going to be for years to come, I don't see how it's not going to happen. I think the
even if
schedule
we got rid of, let's say, all back-to-backs.
It can't. It can't happen. But,
okay, marquee games.
Maybe
there are
marquee
no
games.
back-to-back situations, so there'd have no real reason, because that's a big part of this.
Marquee games, sure, but you're still going to have your League Pass games in Indiana on a Tuesday night where the Cavs are going to sit.
I don't think
20,000 fans may go home unhappy.
Yeah, fair.
I just don't think it can happen with 82 games.
That's what I think Adam Silver's addressing as well. He's not saying we want to ban it completely.
He's just dropped your pen.
I know, I dropped my pen. But he's sort of saying it's about the notification that the league and the TV companies get close to the game, because this one happened just before the Clippers and Cavs game on Saturday night.
Yes, it's the notification.
I don't think, honestly, that they care if it does happen on a Tuesday night on a League Pass game.
Yeah.
But they do care when these business partners, be it ESPN and Turner, are paying billions of dollars for those marquee games. Those are the ones where they want to see those stars play. We'll be talking about it, I'm sure, as we go on. But after the jump, the Blazers' playoff chances. Don't go anywhere. Back with the starters, right into fill in the blank. Take it away, Trey.
On Sunday, Damian Lillard went for 49 points in a victory against the Heat. It's the Blazers' 7th win in their last 9 games, and they're now just a half game behind the Nuggets for 8th in the West. Fellas, fill in the blank. The Blazers' chances of making the playoffs are blank.
They're already locked in, baby.
Whoa.
March 10th, I locked it in. You guys were hesitant. You were hesitant to join me in locking it in, but they've played really well since then. Obviously, had a tough road trip. Beat the Suns, okay. Spurs, Hawks, and Heat, though, all on the road, and they had an overtime loss to the Wizards, which was a little controversial. They're playing great. I think they're in.
Yeah, I'm basically there. I think they're 95% in.
Okay.
And I had faith in the Mavs a couple weeks ago when we made the pick, and then Nerlens Noel went down at a wrong time. They got some bad losses to the Suns, etc. And now the Blazers are knocking on the door. They've got 13 games left. 10 of 13 at home. And those Denver Nuggets, it's a young team. They've got 12 left, and 8 of the 12 are on the road, and their home schedule is tough. I just don't think that's a great recipe going down the stretch for a young team. And the Blazers team that's already been there, done that, I think this is the Blazers to lose now.
You said 95%, Taz. According to 538, they're at 71%, which is double what they were just a week ago going into that critical road stretch. You mentioned 3 playoff teams there, including the Miami Heat in that.
Yeah.
Spurs, Hawks, and Heat in the second night of a back-to-back. So they've certainly got themselves back into position, and they play the Nuggets, of course, next week in Portland, which really could come down to a game that close to decide whether or not they get in the playoffs.
Sounds like you guys want to lock it in.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I'll lock it.
I was just hoping we had the
Give me
graphic.
the button.
I just thought we had the graphic. All right, try next one.
There it is. Congratulations, Blazers.
Yeah, great stuff. Everybody's in now. Yeah, we've just merged 2 segments together here.
Scoop! LeBron James is going to be a guest on James Corden's famed carpool karaoke, as the two were spotted doing some skits and bits around Los Angeles. Guys, fill in the blank. LeBron should sing blank on carpool karaoke. Give me a song. Make it a good one.
Working Class Man. You guys know it. It's
Okay.
by Jimmy Barnes, the
Yep.
Australian singer. And the reason I say this is because when James Corden tweeted that photo, he said, I'm from High Wycombe, which is a working class area of London or of England. And then LeBron retweeted that saying, I'm from Akron, Ohio, also a working class area. They're both working class areas. 2 young boys who have done well for themselves.
All right, good stuff. I like it. I didn't give you an actual song, Trey, but I went with just more Bobby Brown.
Okay.
Stick to what you know. LeBron has already performed some Bobby Brown on a big stage, way back at the 2007 ESPYs, dressed a little bit like MC Hammer.
Dressed like MC Hammer singing Bobby Brown.
Yeah, that was my prerogative. He did it at the 2007 ESPYs. People were loving it. Oh yeah, Barron eating it up.
Barron almost looked embarrassed.
I mean, well, he
Embarrassed.
doesn't have the greatest voice in the world, but yeah, I stick with Bobby Brown.
I said LL Cool J's Mama Said Knock You Out, because everyone on the internet still wants to say he came back from 3-1, and the first line in that song is, "Don't call it a comeback! I've been here for years!" Yeah, stop calling it a
Don't call
comeback.
it a comeback, but it was exactly a comeback.
Yeah, I know.
Do call
I just
it a
want to
comeback.
use that line.
Exactly what it was. All right, Trey, final one.
All right, 76ers big man and social media hero Joel Embiid is in a new Jolly Ranchers commercial, and it's pretty funny. Take a look.
Sitting out his first 2 seasons for Boo Boo, and now out for the season after we shot this commercial. With a rookie year lasting longer than a Jolly Rancher, Joel the Crosshairs Embiid. Keep on sucking.
Fill in the blank. Joel Embiid's next endorsement should be blank.
Kraft singles. You already got the slogan. Trust the processed cheese. Done and done. Holler at me,
Good one.
Kraft. Let's make it happen.
Good one, yeah.
What do you got?
I've got Hair Care for Men by Dove. Joel Embiid has got fantastic hair. He really needs to take good care of that. There is a great endorsement right there just waiting for him. Every time you see him out on the court, his hair is one of the first things you notice. Keep that baby smiling, keep it happy, keep it shiny.
Keep that,
that
baby,
baby
smiling,
smiling.
as they say about your hair.
I'm going with Listerine mouth strips. Because Joel Embiid likes to keep that mouth wide open. My name's Joel Embiid, and I like to keep my mouth open. So what do I pop in my mouth? Listerine mouth strips. Keep me always fresh.
Man, his mouth is open a lot.
It is.
3 great suggestions.
Yeah, that was great.
He's a walking endorsement machine.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. All right, up next, we're going to introduce a new game here on the starters called Fashion or Nah. Come on back.
Thanks for the suggestion, Morgan.
Welcome back to the starters. Yesterday, Warriors forward Matt Barnes blasted a gram of his teammate Draymond Green with a simple caption, "So, fashion or nah?" Hashtag my guy. Now, we debated Barnes' question on the Twitter show, but it's actually inspired a new game here on the starters, and it's called Fashion or Nah. Trey, why don't you tell us how it works?
Here's how it'll work. I'll show you guys an NBA player in his off-court gear. You tell me if you like it, that's fashion. If you don't, nah.
All right.
First candidate, Jordan Clarkson. Here you'll see him wearing a leather varsity jacket, some cropped jeans, and a tucked-in t-shirt. Guys, fashion or nah?
What is hanging in between his legs?
I don't know. He's got like a little
car
dangly
keys?
watch wallet thing. I don't know.
Oh yeah, what is that? Like, you know, the chains that connect to your
I'm
wallet?
saying nah, those jeans are a little too short at the bottom there.
There's a flood coming.
Yeah.
I like the jacket,
That's
but
a
yeah,
solid
I'm
jacket.
with Lee. I'm with Lee.
I'm going fashion.
I'm
Come
going-
on.
Nah.
I like the white underneath.
Nah.
Looking good.
Trespass Mellis. That, my friends, is fashion.
Yeah.
Jordan Clarkson, probably the best dressed guy in the league, if you ask me.
Wow.
That's just
Matching
one
top to
man's
bottom.
opinion.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Why is he wearing capris then?
Crop jeans are in, my man.
Okay.
Cut your hems off, everybody.
All right.
Next candidate,
We're gonna learn some things here.
Carmelo Anthony, sporting his famous look
Oh, yeah, the
in his fur trapper hat, a shearling jacket with a fur collar, and a wild sweater that might have a giraffe on it. Can't really tell. Fashion or not?
Well, was it fashion when Cameron was sort of rocking it? I know it was pink at the time.
I would say fashion
Little
back
dip set.
then.
Yeah, I'm fashion.
That's definitely It's automatically fashion when you're matching your top and your bottom. So the boots are brown.
Automatically.
But isn't he trying a little too hard in this? You know, he knows he's going to get memed.
Right.
So,
But he's a man of many hats.
that's
He's a
what I'm
man of
saying.
many,
That's what I'm
many
saying. He
hats.
knows like the internet's going to have fun with him. So I'm going to say nah again on this one.
Orange is too much, but you know, it's still fashion.
What's the answer, Trey?
Oh man, this is fashion.
Yeah.
The guy's in New York City, it's freezing cold, throw on some leathers and a big ol' hat. Why not? Our next candidate, Mark Gasol, seen here rocking a distressed military shirt, a layered tee, and some heavily ripped jeans.
This is Marc Gasol.
I know, Mark Gasol has
Wow.
really changed his game. He used to
Yeah.
just shop at Anthropology with his wife.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means because you
Maybe
wouldn't
I'll-
expect Marc Gasol to be wearing this.
I know.
I think
Does that make it
I think
fashionable?
Trey's going to have a natural bias towards the ripped jeans in this one. I think, and,
I
and
actually-
the army and the camouflagey sort of army sort of whatever that is on top of him.
That outfit looks
Nah.
ready to
Nah.
wear, though. It's not custom.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I think Trey's gonna go nah on this one.
You guys are right. That's not fashion.
Yeah.
Those jeans, too ripped.
Too ripped.
Our next candidate, Iman Shumpert. wearing a matching all-over print shirt and pants in what can only be described as a mashup of every flag on Earth. Is this fashion or nah?
This has got to be nah,
that's-
surely.
It's got to be what?
Nah.
That's not fashion?
Is that
That's high
Oh,
fashion,
you're
Lee.
crazy.
That's definitely high fashion.
Yeah, okay, nah. I'm saying nah.
That's definitely fashion. That's the definition of fashion right there.
Do you like flags? You've
I love
traveled
flags.
the country.
Yeah, no, I do. I love flags, but not all at the same time. And not when I'm going somewhere. I don't just put them on like that. But hey, listen, I'm 0 for 3 so far. So.
I think it's fashion.
Hey, make it 0 for 4. That's fashion. Prints are in, people. Tops and bottoms, doesn't matter.
All right, I feel like this is a game that could be reoccurring here on the starters. You got a great photo of an NBA player. Send it in, hashtag the starters. Yeah, to get those beats, man. When we come back, the least fashionable guy on the starters, Leonis, gives us his very solid play. Don't go anywhere. Back with the starters, we asked you, what's the ideal peanut butter and jelly sandwich? You hit us up on Twitter, hashtag the starters. Hopefully people send in some actual photos of their sandwiches.
We got some photos.
Oh,
This
yeah.
one comes from Ray Rodriguez. Seems like I'm a trend starter. I think that's a tortilla PBJ.
What?
Unheard of. Tasha says, great jam, almond butter on Dave's Killer 21 grain bread, panini style.
looks
That
good.
looks solid. That looks solid.
And Jason says the best PB&J is down under style, toasted on the outside and with some cheese in the middle to spice things up.
What?
Cheese!
Real thing, grilled cheese, man.
Oh, come on. You're a monster.
Tonight's Pick'em Play game. It's Grizzlies and Pelicans. It's on League Pass. We're split on this one. Trey and Tats have the Pelicans at home. Lee and I have the Grizzlies. Lee, VSP.
Heading out to Houston for another new category. It's the Trevor Chappell play from Nikola Jokic. Yeah, our cricket fans will know what I'm talking about. Here it is then. Bowls it underarm through to Willie. That's what I call a very solid play.
Great stuff. We had a blast on the Starters Twitter show this morning. We talked father and son NBA combos, played a new round of Say What, and after Shaq reignited the flat Earth debate, we asked Lee a very important scientific question. If we had drilled a hole,
Right.
where you're standing, Lee,
Yeah.
to the other side of the Earth,
Right.
and it is round, and we dropped you, how long would it take you to end up on the other side of the world?
I will say 3 minutes.
48 minutes and 12 seconds.
Wow. Wow. Surprising.
You do it faster.
It is surprising. We got some fan signs, Lee.
Herbie and his partner out in San Antonio put together a very solid sign, a very solid play. Great job there. David at his first Raptors game in 9 years to see the Thunder. Very creative job there.
Hello,
but
Dave.
well done. Ashley and the girls were at the Bulls game on Saturday night saying Hoiberg might always not know who his favourite starters are, but the girls do. Liam and Logan at the Raptors and Pacers game over the weekend. Very creative and colourful sign. These will all be up on Facebook. A few more to come tomorrow night.
All right, great stuff. We'll see you at 7 p.m. Eastern here on NBA TV.
Thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, give a guy a disco ball and a MacBook, call him a DJ.
Kirby. Brace the night, people.